Hygger fish waste collector is effectively an overflow. It has to be used with a sump of some sort. See, I have a 40-gallon sump here. I am running this on a 150-gallon tank. I think in most of their videos you see them running on like a 30-gallon tank. I am here to tell you you can use it on a large tank. This is a 4-foot by 2-foot by about 31 inches tall, so it's 150 gallons. When you set this thing up, I mean, it does exactly what they say it does, in my experience over the past month. We have our waste collector portions right here, which are collecting waste, and you can easily dump it into a bucket. We have, that is the surface skimmer, which keeps getting stuck, and I'm not sure if it's just because of the extreme flow that's going through it that keeps sucking that thing down. I'm not really sure what that's about, but when you shut the pump off, water drains out. It stops draining right when it gets to that bulb that's in the water there. And then when it turns back on, suction restarts by itself, so you don't have to worry about overflowing your tank, dumping a bunch of water, emptying your sump onto the ground. It does restart by itself, which is great. It can be a little finicky though, so I'll give you some tips that I came across while setting it up that I was able to figure out. Number one is that bulb right there, that white bulb right there, that will set your water level when you first set it. So that thing is movable up and down. It has a little clamp that attaches to the pipe there, and you can put it deeper in the water or raise it out, and that will set the water level in your tank if you have it running at full blast. Now, what I would recommend doing if you're going to use this overflow, you should also use a pump, a return pump that is fully adjustable, meaning one that you can, it doesn't have to be a Hygger one. I just happen to have a Hygger one, but one that you can increase and decrease the flow of, so that you can make your pump as close as possible to match the return of this overflow. The reason being that if you know anything about overflows and you look at this design, you would be a little concerned, because this is not actually an overflow. This is a full siphon out of your tank. That's what this is doing. It's basically, if you put a hose in and suck the water out and let gravity suck it out, that's effectively what that pipe is doing. The problem with that is that a full siphon will eventually go to a specific speed that you cannot adjust. Based on the size of the pipe, which these are about 3/4 inch, they're in metric sizes, but it's somewhere around 3/4 inch. It will ramp up to a certain speed based on the diameter of the inside of the pipe, and that will not change unless you close and open the valve in the back, which means that you would need to match with this pump as close as possible to make sure that you don't overflow your tank or overflow your sump. I was very confused about that at first, but what I have come to figure out, and if you want to see, you can kind of see that I even marked that little black dot that's on my return there. I had to close it a little bit, throttle down the speed of the water exiting my tank. Now the fix for this would be to build like another overflow, a secondary emergency overflow like you would with any other sump setup like I have over here. This drilled tank has an emergency overflow, so that if that were to happen, the emergency overflow would pick up the weight, which I will probably do in the future, and I'll show you that. But for now, it seems to have, I've kind of figured it out. When you're setting it up, you want to throttle the return, the exit pipe, and then throttle your main pump, your adjustable pump, to kind of make them match each other. And as the water goes above this bulb, it will kind of come to some sort of equilibrium that you'll notice. But you will have to watch it for the first, hour or two after you set this thing up to find that kind of sweet spot based on your pump and your tank and how much water you're sucking out. Now, the other thing is the directions in here don't say anything about gluing any parts. Now, I've built a bunch of overflows. I have 3 different overflows running in this tank right now. I would always recommend gluing your parts. Get yourself some PVC glue, blue PVC cement, and I would glue all the outside parts. So you can even see some of the glue. You can see some of it up there, the blue. I would glue all these parts just to make sure you don't have any leaks outside of the tank. Always glue your parts. The parts I didn't glue are below this T. So like this piece up here that connects, I did glue that, but I didn't glue anything below that. So none of this is glued. And that allows me to take it all apart and clean it whenever I want. There is some cool features about this which I haven't fully tested yet, but in my mind they kind of make sense. So one thing I did is see below the waste separator part, see that gray pipe I added right here? That wasn't in the directions, and I added that because I would like to be able to connect a hose to that, same way I did to the main exit. Connect a hose to that, and then if I run that hose to like a waste pipe, and then I take my water reservoir or my python straight from the hose, straight from the faucet, and connect it to my return compartment right there, then I should effectively be able to do a water change without shutting anything off. I should be able to open that valve over there and then pump water in down here at the same time, and I will effectively be able to do 100% water change without lowering any water in the tank, if I wanted to. Now that's a cool feature. I haven't tested it yet, but in my mind, I mean, I'm like 99% sure that would work. I don't see why it wouldn't. Pros, you can achieve a lot of flow out of this thing because it's doing a full siphon. So you can get a lot of flow. If you even look at my sump, you can tell the water's moving through there pretty fast. Cons, and it hasn't really been a con yet, it just worries me, is that if something were to clog up, there's no emergency drain to fix said problem. You know, for discus people, for people with goldfish that poop a lot, like that's basically who this is marketed for. It's not really marketed for me, a guy with a planted tank who just wants an overflow. It's marketed for people with bare bottom tanks who have discus tanks or goldfish who create a lot of waste, and you want to be able to suck that waste out. Again, when you're setting it up, you can use my little black dot there as a template. You're going to want to throttle the main exit down a little bit and then adjust your pump accordingly to achieve a stable flow rate. You're also going to want to make sure that your out pipe, which is here, connects to the bottom T, and that your out pipe, which goes in the tank, is connected to the top T, and you're going to want to glue all your different connections. Again, you know, the main bad reviews I've seen on Amazon over this thing is that it leaks. Well, you know what? It's going to leak if you don't glue it. All overflows leak if you don't glue them. You should glue everything, except the in the tank parts. Now, I'll even give you a demonstration of it resiphoning. So, we're going to go over here. We're going to shut our pump off. Let's shut our main pump off. That's it. Now our return section is filling up, and the water is draining back down. You notice it's going to stop as soon as it hits right there. You hear that sound? As soon as it gets to there, now our siphon here will stop. This ball with the hose, you can kind of see the bubbles stopping. That's what creates our siphon. So now, water level is down. So now, we sit around, pretend the power's out. Now, I'm going to show you what happens when we start it back up. And see, actually, now our surface skimmer is floating again because there's no flow through it. So, now, we're going to restart our pump, and we'll see it. There it goes. There goes our main pump, filling our tank back up. Our water level will start to increase. And when it's going to get past this thing, the bulb. But we'll try to watch right here. When it starts to get close to this hose, you're going to see water it's going to just start to suction. Oh, see that? And we're back to a full siphon. So, that's how it works. That's how you don't have to worry about losing anything during a power outage. So, that's the Hygger fish waste collector. Now, would I buy this again? I think I would buy it again. You know, it had more issues than I thought it would starting up, but once I got those figured out, and hopefully once you watch this video, you'll have those figured out as well. It's just throttling down the thing, making sure that you have a pump that's fully adjustable, and gluing all your parts together like you should have done anyway. And so far, it works great. I will say I'll be adding a secondary overflow just so I don't, just for some peace of mind for when I'm not home. It can move a lot of water, it pulls a lot of junk, and I do like the option of being able to create like a semi-auto water change system where I don't have to put anything in the tank, because some of these guys are kind of skittish. On Amazon, they had some deal where it was $40. Even for the full price of $60, that's still way cheaper than any other overflow you're going to buy for a tank. Even hang on back overflows. Maybe they'll watch this video and figure out a way to add an emergency overflow. I'm Larry Buckets, and we will see you